What's up, everyone, and welcome to Original Pagan. If you're new here, although we're on chapter 5 of the Bhagavad Gita, my presumption is if you are watching this, you've watched the previous 4 videos. This is really exciting. This is actually the new office. We are in the official Original Human, Original Pagan slash Morale, now my other business, the headquarters of my business, basically. For the first time in the 5 years that I've been a YouTuber, I finally have an actual YouTube studio that I'm renting specifically for making these videos, which is incredibly exciting. There's still a lot more got to get set up. It's a bit echoey in here still, so we're going to try and get that squared away. There's also quite a lot of room here for something. I don't know what yet. You'll have to let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the background as well. These lights can be changed. It looks really cool, and I'm very excited. It's been about a month. A month? No. It's been about a week and a half to 2 weeks. I don't know why I said a month since we read the Bhagavad Gita on here. We are on to chapter 5. I kind of went back and read the previous chapters again just to give my mind a bit of refreshing. You know, it's been a week or so. It's been nearly 2 weeks probably. And I just wanted to kind of just get it back in my head and get back into the rhythm of this. Chapter 5 is called Renounce and Rejoice. And it's talking a lot about renouncement or renouncing while also being in action, and how them two are contradicting in a way, but both are really important to kind of self-realization. It talks a little bit about material connection again in this, and going along the lines of material things are not going to bring you the happiness. It kind of repeats that, and I have a feeling it's going to repeat that quite a bit in here. Krishna warns Arjuna that the life of work, even successful work, cannot be fulfilling without self-knowledge. That's another big thing in here. Talks about sannyasa, which is a new term that I've learned in this, which is basically the idea of retirement here in the West. It's kind of like retirement, but also like renouncing your work in a way. And also another word here, sada, S-A-D-A, which is kind of means always. But I think, like previous chapters, I'm going to actually read the whole chapter 5 with you guys, and we can go over it and have a think about it, okay? So chapter 5, Arjuna. O Krishna, you have recommended both the path of selfless action and sannyasa, the path of renunciation of action. Tell me definitively which is better, Krishna. Both renunciation of action and the selfless performance of action lead to the supreme goal, but the path of action is better than renunciation. Those who have attained perfect renunciation are free from any sense of duality. They are unaffected by the likes and dislikes, Arjuna, and are free from the bondage of self-will. The immature think that the knowledge and action are different, but the wise see them as the same. The person who is established in one path will attain the reward of both. The goal of knowledge and the goal of service are the same. Those who fail to see this are blind. Let's carry on here. Perfect renunciation is difficult to attain without performing action, but the wise, following the path of selfless service, quickly reach Brahman. Those who follow the path of service, who have completely purified themselves and conquered their senses and self-will, see the self in all creatures and are untouched by the action they perform. I love that. See themselves in all creatures. It's the idea of animism in a way, where you kind of see a part of yourself in everything, which is, in my opinion, is a very beautiful way of looking at the world. Those who know this truth, whose consciousness is unified, think always, I am the doer, while seeing or hearing, touching or smelling, eating, moving about, or sleeping, breathing, or speaking, letting go or holding on, even opening or closing the eyes. They understand that these are only the movements of the senses among sense objects. So he's basically saying all these things that we do, where we see and we touch and we're feeling, we're smelling, we're tasting, this is all the material world still, even though it's your senses, right? Those who suffer under Brahman, those who surrender to Brahman, all selfless attachments, are like the leaf of the lotus floating clean and dry in water. I'm going to pause here in the middle of that. The idea is that a lotus leaf, a lotus flower, it's in the middle of a water. It's this beautiful thing, right? In a dirty water. And yet if water touches a leaf, it's almost like a waxy leaf, so it just kind of rolls off it. And so it's a clean, pristine, dry, beautiful flower surrounded by mucky, dirty water in itself, which is beautiful. Renouncing their selfless attachments, those who follow the path of service work with body, senses, and mind for the sake of self-purification. Those whose consciousness is unified abandon all attachments to the results of the action and attain supreme peace. But those whose desires are fragmented, who are selfishly attached to the results of their work, are bound in everything they do. So basically, if you're doing something for a result, you constantly need that result. And so you've constantly got to do the work to follow for that result. And it's a vicious cycle. Those who renounce attachment in all their deeds live content in the city of 9 gates, the body, as its master. They are not driven to act, nor do they involve others in action. The reference of the city of 9 gates as the body is something new that I've only just heard in this book. And so if you're watching this and you know more about that reference, let me know in the comments section about that one, because that's an interesting one. Neither the sense of action, nor connection. Sorry, I read that wrong. Neither the sense of acting nor action, nor the connection of cause and effect come from the Lord of this world. These three arise from nature. The Lord does not partake in the good and evil deeds of any person. Judgment is clouded when wisdom is obscured by ignorance. But ignorance is destroyed by knowledge of the self within. The light of this knowledge shines like the sun, revealing the supreme Brahman. Those who cast off sin through this knowledge absorb in the Lord and establish in him as the one goal and refuge, are not reborn as separate creatures. Absolutely, it's so poetic. It's beautiful, isn't it? Those who possess the wisdom have equal regard for all. They see the same self in a spiritual aspirant and an outcast, in an elephant, a cow, and a dog. Such people have mastered life. With even mind, they rest in Brahman, who is perfect and is everywhere the same. This, again, that's very animistic in a way, isn't it? They are not elated by good fortune nor depressed with bad. The mind established in Brahman, they are free from delusion, not dependent on any external support. They realize the joy of spiritual awareness and consciousness unified through meditation and live in abiding joy. Again, not looking for outside sources, but seeing yourself, your essence in everything around you. Like again, animistic, brilliant. Pleasures conceived in a world of the senses have a beginning and an end and give birth to misery, Arjuna. I love that. So again, he's talking about attachment again, but he's saying if you're following things that just indulge your senses, that's the outside world. That's the material world. And if you're following stuff just for that, it's not going to get you anywhere. The wise do not look for happiness in them, but those who overcome the impulses of lust and the anger of which arise in the body are made whole and live in joy. They find their joy, their rest, and their light completely within themselves. United with the Lord, they attain nirvana in Brahman. So basically, you're going to find happiness in yourself. And I feel like I've battled with this quite a lot. I'm someone who always sees that the grass is greener on the other side, and I'm going to do something, and once I've done that, I'll finally be happy. Once I've ticked that box, once I've bought that new thing, I'll always it's always like, oh, if I get that, if I reach that milestone, I'll be happier. But the truth is, you can only find happiness in yourself, and that's something I've been battling with for a long time. Healed of their sins and conflicts, working for the good of all beings, the holy sages attain nirvana in Brahman. Free of anger and selfish desire, unified in mind, those who follow the path of yoga and realize the self are established forever in that supreme state. Closing their eyes, studying their breathing, and focusing their attention on the center of spiritual consciousness, the wise master their senses, mind, and intellect through meditation. Self-realization is the only goal. Freed from selfish desires, fear, and anger, they live in freedom always. Knowing me as the friend of all creatures, the Lord of the universe, and the end of all offerings, and all spiritual disciplines, they attain eternal peace. Absolutely beautiful. So he's saying that the idea of learning these different things that he's talking about can be attained through something like meditation, which meditation for me has always been an on and off thing. I've been doing it since 2015, 2016, meditation. And it's been one of them where I have like a love-hate relationship with it. Like I'll do really well for a while and then I'll kind of jump off it a little bit and it'll go a few weeks, maybe in a few months before I do another one. And then I come back and it feels like I'm a beginner again. Maybe I can do a video on my journey with meditation in a way, and how maybe at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, we can reflect on how this is reflecting on my life and my battles when it comes to my spirituality, my mental health, and my personal well-being. But chapter 5, more of a intimate chapter. I wouldn't say repeating a few things, but kind of going into more detail about certain things like materialism and attachment and stuff like that. Very good chapter. Chapter 5 done. We're going to be doing chapter 6 later on this week. Let me know, are you reading this along with me? Are you learning this with me? I'd love to know in the comment section down below. And again, if you do like this series, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps with that mysterious YouTube algorithm that nobody knows about. Nobody knows about. But let me know what you think in the comments. Other than that, I will see you in the next video, which will be chapter 6. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.